welcome to the next episode of Science on a Shoestring with Mr. S. Today we're going to be finding our way. Now, we've all got phones nowadays. We just turn on our maps and we can see exactly which direction we're facing. Well, that sort of technology is only relatively new. People had to find their ways using pieces of equipment such as a compass many years ago. And even still to this day, if you're out in the wilderness and you want to find your way, a compass is a really good tool along with a map. And that can be quite a fun activity to carry out. So with that in mind, today I thought we'd have a go at making our own compass. What you'll need for this is a bowl of water, a paper clip that's been stretched out into a straight a shape as you can possibly make it. Or, but this comes with a safety warning, you can use a sewing needle. But be careful because these are very sharp, which is why I've gone for the paper clip. You'll need a cork. Usually we'll have these around the house. What you've got to do is get an adult to cut it down a cross section. So you've got a small piece like this. Cork's quite buoyant, which means that it'll float in the water, which is what we need. And also you're going to need a magnet of some sort. Now I don't want you to stop there and say, I haven't got a bar magnet. Of course, you might not have a bar magnet around the house. This is Science on a Shoestring with Mr. S. So we have to improvise sometimes. And what you will have likely in your house is a fridge. And on the inside of your fridge, there is a magnet. Give it a try. If you lightly tug on the door, you probably won't be able to open it. But if you pull hard enough, you'll open it. You'll feel that magnetic force pulling it. So what you have to do is take your paper clip or sewing needle, rub it against your magnet, twist it and turn it so that all parts of it get covered. Because what this is going to do is magnetize the paper clip. The same if you're going to do it on the fridge as well. Rub it up and down the magnet on the fridge and turn it and do the same again so that you've magnetized the paper clip or the sewing needle. Now, place the cork in the water and just let it settle. And then we're going to place the magnetized paper clip onto the cork. And before we go any further, I want to make a prediction. So my prediction is that this paper clip will start to move somehow. Perhaps I could use another item that has not been magnetized as a control to see whether it works for this one, but not for this one. These are ways that you can turn this more into an investigation rather than just a simple activity. So now it's time to place our paperclip onto the cork and watch what happens. You should start to notice that as soon as you put it on, it will start to move before eventually settling. Well, the paperclip or the sewing needle is affected by the Earth's magnetic field. Now, this idea of the Earth being like a giant magnet comes from some ideas proposed hundreds of years ago by a scientist called William Gilbert. He was alive around about the same time as Elizabeth I, just to put it into some context for you. And before Isaac Newton and his theory of gravity. And his idea was that the Earth is actually like a giant magnet and that it has magnetic poles, the north and south magnetic poles. So our sewing needle or our paperclip, once we've magnetized it and it's able to spin freely in the water, one end will point towards the north and the other will point towards the south. Now, how do we determine which is which? Well, here you can use an actual compass, or you could use the GPS on your phone to see which is which. Maybe you could find a way of labeling them. You could take this investigation further, as we said earlier, by having a control piece where you do not magnetize it. What if you tried it with some different metals? Would it have the same effect? What if you tried a different magnet? Would it work any differently? Perhaps you have some fridge magnets that you could used to try and magnetize not just the inside of the fridge itself. Try it and see what happens. But that's how you make a compass, using some very simple pieces of equipment. I hope you find your way too. Until next time, goodbye.